Good morning, students. Welcome to the discussion of chapter number 2, From Trade to Territory. This chapter is all about that how Europeans come to our country and start trading with some commodities like black pepper, other spices, and other goods, and how eventually this trade led them to annex the territory, region, and all over the country into their shackles of hold. The objective of the chapter is to show how the consolidation of British power was linked to the formation of colonial armies and administrative structures. To unravel is to unfold the story of a trading a company becoming a political power. In this chapter, it is important to understand the Britishers, or we can say the other European countries as well, who come to India for the sole purpose of trading, become political power here and eventually establish their control, or we can say regime over it. How come this happened? This is extremely interesting and curious to know about. To dwell into details, we shall start with our first topic. That is company established power. Many small kingdoms emerged all over India after the death of Aurangzeb. Look, Aurangzeb was the one of the last Mughal emperor who was extremely powerful. After his death, who succeeded him were not that powerful to control the empire and suppress the uprising in the empire rule. So, what happened that right after his death, second half of the 18th century was was a time of full of rebellion, uprising, of petty and small kingdom against the Mughal Empire. So that century was kind of a in a we can say in a turmoil situation when these traders start coming to our country. As you can see in the map, the here our country India, and where the people from Britain, uh, from Britain coming here by stopping at the Cape of Good Hope, that is South Africa, coming to Madras, coming to Bombay. So these all were were the ports where these people, the European traders, used to dock their ship. East India Company comes east, that is Kolkata, of course. And not just the Kolkata, it's just our country is located into the east of Britain. So it's like that they are calling the company, the trading company, East India here. In 1600, that is the time period when Jahangir was ruling in the Mughal Empire. As you know, that Mughal Empire was in this time was ruling our country. During this time, East India Company started coming over here and acquired a charter from the ruler of England, Queen Elizabeth I, granting its sole right to trade with East without the competition from the other British trader. This means that only East India Company from Britain can trade with India, not any other country from the Britain. But the royal charter could not stop the other European power, such as Portuguese, Dutch, and French. And all those European companies wanted to buy the same thing from India, fine quality of cloth, which we will learn in detail which type of cloth they were wanting, and the spices. As the competition grew, profit fell, and the European trading companies started building forts, fighting each other. With more business came from more conflicts with Indian rulers, and it became difficult for European traders to keep their business separate from Indian politics. It is important to just read again the last point in the line, that with the more business comes the more conflict. As you know that because of the charter, other British companies could not come to India to trade as they have the charter. But that same charter do not forbid the other European power to come and to do the trading. So this was a kind of a competition for them, and sooner they have a problem with the authorities over in India too, and this led to the more and more conflict. So as you can see, here is the picture of local boats coming and bringing the goods in Madras, right? This is the picture, or I can say this is the page which I have taken from your NCERT book only. When you are going to read it through, you are going to find the same. East India Company begins to trade in Bengal. First English factory was set up on the banks of river Hooghly. Hooghly is a river in Bengal. As they expanded, the East India Company convinced merchants and traders to come and settle near the factory. So the factory which was established by these English people, they convinced the merchants, that is the traders and other people who are into the business, to settle near the factory. By 1696, the company began building a fort around the Hooghly settlement. It also bribed Mughal officials into giving the company zamindari right over three villages, one of which was Calcutta. Which means the zamindari rights which was given by the Mughal emperors to these people was that they can collect the tax from these three villages. As you know, the company trade could not keep themselves separate from the politics because of the rising conflicts with the competition from the other European countries and the local people who were into the same business. It also convinced the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb to issue a farman. It is a royal order, uh, an official order granting the company the right to trade duty free. That is, they can trade in any commodity they wanted to, and the local government, that means the people who are ruling over the dynasty, the like Mughal people or the any other person who's ruling on the behalf of these people are not going to charge, are not going to levy tax on the commodity they are selling or purchasing, right? So this is what duty free is. The employees of the company also carried on their private trades and so were expected to pay duty, but they refused, which angered the Nawab of Bengal, Murshid Quli Khan, and led to the fierce battle. This means that the employee also not just trade on the for the company, but they were also trading for their personal benefit and trading on the behalf, or not just on the behalf of the East India Company, but for their personal use also. But according to the Farman, the company the company was given the right to trade duty free, not the people who are doing the trade for their own benefit. So this made Nawab of Bengal, Murshid Quli Khan, who was ruling on the behalf of the Mughal emperor, to have a conflict, to have issue with them, and which eventually led to the fierce battle. So after the death, how topic is how trade led to the battles. After the death of Aurangzeb, the Nawab of Bengal, Murshid Quli Khan, Ali Vardi Khan, and Siraj ud-Daulah, one after the other, refused to grant the concession to the company. Already, the Nawabs of Bengal were having conflicts with these European traders, specifically from the one from the East India Company. And right after the death of Aurangzeb, who has issued the Farman or the royal official order to make them trade duty free, were not allowing them this the same concession, which eventually end up in a battle. So the details of this battle of Plassey, which was fought by Robert